On Sunday, 18th August 2024, young Christiana Idowu, a 300-level student of the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, Ogun State, Nigeria, left her home at the Italowo community in Lagos State to the University of Lagos, UNILAB, where she was doing her industrial training as an undergraduate student. Young Christiana has been making this trip every weekend for some weeks now. She would leave for UNILAB during the weekend and then return home on Friday to be with her family. Christiana had left home that Sunday for UNILAB as usual, but little did she know, something as natural as a regular rainfall would put her in the cold hands of death, a painful death that would be orchestrated by a friend she grew up with and also got to trust. That Sunday marked the last day that young Christiana Idowu would ever be seen alive, as she would eventually be declared missing the next day, being August 19, 2024. Around 8:50 p.m. that Sunday, Christiana's mother, a widow, received a WhatsApp message from her daughter. She probably thought that was her daughter checking in to inform her that she had safely arrived at UNILAB, but when she opened the message, what she saw shattered her heart into 1,000 pieces. The message read, "Hello, madam. You have such a beautiful daughter. How much are you willing to pay to see her again? We have her in our custody." At this point, it was clear to her that her daughter had been kidnapped. But what she didn't know was that the true situation was more terrifying than what she actually believed at the time. The kidnapper then sent 2 pictures using the View Once WhatsApp feature. In one of the pictures, Christiana was seen sitting upright, but her head was being held up by the kidnapper's hand, as if she was asleep and would slump if she wasn't held that way. This particular picture contained a crucial clue that the family couldn't pick out at the time. After sending these pictures, the kidnapper then made his demands known. In his next message, he told the mother to pay 3 million naira ransom within 24 hours, or else he would take Christiana's life and also sell her parts. The kidnapper further told her in plain terms, using pidgin English, that he had kidnapped her daughter and that she was not the only one in his custody. Christiana's mother, being a widow who has been struggling and sacrificing to make sure that she gives her daughter the gift of education, had no way of raising 3 million naira amidst the current economic hardship. The mother told him that she didn't have such an amount of money and pleaded with him to lower his demands. He then reduced it to 1.5 million naira. However, there was still no way for the widow to raise such a huge amount of money within the given time frame. At this point, the kidnapper was probably frustrated, so he then decided to add more pressure to his demands. On August 21, just 3 days after Christiana was believed to still be in the abductor's custody, the kidnapper decided to threaten her mother by claiming that he was involved in organ harvesting. He then told the mother that his only job is to get young and healthy people, majorly between the ages of 18 to 40, and that her daughter was very well within the required age bracket. He also figured that the woman might be wondering why he was asking for ransom if he was truly an organ harvester. To prevent this, he followed up the previous message by explaining that in times when there is no demand for organs, they reach out to the families of victims to make demands, and that if they meet their demands, they set the victim free, but if they don't, they keep the victim healthy. He then made a very disturbing claim that those in charge of harvesting are in need, and that, by the way, they are always in need. He then added that he had absolutely nothing to lose in the situation, that if she doesn't settle them, the harvesters will. He claimed the harvesters pay nothing less than 1.5 million naira for a healthy body. He went further to tell her that if he decided to collect anything less than 1.5 million naira from her, he would be doing so just to help her. The most heartbreaking thing about this interaction is that the kidnapper is someone the poor widow knew very well and had also watched grow up with her daughter. Christiana's mother maintained that it was impossible for her to raise such a huge amount of money by that time. This negotiation went on for about 8 days. Throughout this period, the kidnapper had been pretending to be a man from northern Nigeria. He would decline all phone calls made to Christiana's line. However, after seeing that the poor widow was indeed unable to come up with the millions, he then decided to reduce the ransom to 400,000 naira. Sadly, Christiana's mother still couldn't raise the requested amount. She told him that she could only raise 350,000 naira through donations from her church. It was at this point that the kidnapper, who was also attending the same church as Christiana and her mother, figured out that the family had been keeping the news about her daughter's ransom demand from friends and family. He confirmed this discovery by reaching out to Christiana's friends using his own WhatsApp account. He pretended to be concerned about the girl's situation, but his main intention was to find out what was going on. In one of the chats, he asked the friend what the church was doing about Christiana's abduction and also if her department in school was aware that she had been kidnapped. The friend replied that she believed the church was trying to raise the ransom and also that her classmates were talking about it in school. Armed with this information, the kidnapper then returned to continue the chat with Christiana's mother on the daughter's WhatsApp account. He said to her, "Don't you think it will be nice if her school friends know what is happening to her? Because it occurred to me that none of them knows what is happening. Don't you think they could be of help to you, madam? Help you contribute to your cause?" Christiana's mother still maintained that she could only put together 350,000 naira. The kidnapper then got impatient and agreed to collect what she had at hand. The family was then waiting for directives on how the money would be transferred to the kidnapper. But to their greatest surprise, the kidnapper chose an unusual method to receive the money. He sent a Sportybet account number and asked that the 350,000 naira be sent there. Sportybet is a sports betting app where users can deposit money for gambling purposes. On Saturday, August 23, 2024, Christiana's mother deposited the money into the Sportybet account provided by the kidnapper. She then pleaded with him to release her daughter, but immediately after he received the ransom, he stopped all forms of communication with the mother. The army at the 174 Battalion got to hear about the case and then sprang into action. They got the Sportybet account number from Christiana's mother and then froze the account. When the kidnapper experienced difficulty in withdrawing the money from his Sportybet account, he then reached out to the mother again and demanded that a statement of account be sent to him through this email address. He went further to ask her to pay an additional money directly into the Wema bank account linked to Sportybet, which she did. She paid 10,000 naira into the provided account number, but the kidnapper said it wasn't enough. Meanwhile, the army was working speedily to track his location. They found out that the BVN number linked to the Sportybet account was the same as the one linked to the Wema bank account the 10,000 naira was transferred into. The army also discovered that this same Wema account number had been posted on Twitter to beg for giveaway money. The investigators also observed that the suspects seemed to have a close relationship with Christiana, as they were seen to like and comment on each other's posts on Instagram. Armed with all this information, the investigators began to track down his cell phone activities and text messages. The cell phone tracking led them to his parents' house, somewhere in Ikorodu, Lagos State. The soldiers then got confirmation of his presence in the building through active tracking of his mobile device. Immediately, they swooped in and arrested the 23-year-old suspect named Ayomide Adeleye. The soldiers found convincing evidence in his possession, including the mobile phone of the victim. They also found details of the money transactions in his phone and confirmation that the betting account belonged to him, as his phone number was linked to it. The soldiers also found an interaction between his personal email and the email address that has been interacting with the family of the victim. The fake email address he created was a combination of two names, Musa and Ahmed, to match the fake persona of the Northerner he had created to execute the fraud. After reviewing the available evidence, Adeleye was taken into custody for further investigations. Upon interrogation, Adeleye denied knowing about Christiana's abduction. He claimed that he was in possession of her mobile phone because he was a phone repairer. He also claimed that an unknown person gave the phone to him to repair and that he didn't ask any questions about the phone's ownership. However, he seemed to have forgotten that he was in custody of the Nigerian army, not the Nigerian police. In less than 24 hours, Adeleye made a heartbreaking confession. He confessed that he had killed Christiana the same day she went missing. This explains why he had to hold her head while taking the photo he sent to her mother. Adeleye attempted to take his own life while in custody, but he was restrained by the soldiers. He would later go on to provide details of what transpired that Sunday. Ayomide Adeleye was a 200-level philosophy student of Olabisi Onabanjo University, Ogun State, Nigeria. He lived in the same community as Christiana and had also attended the same church as her. The two of them were friends, both online and offline. They were also schooling in the same Ogun State. On that Sunday, Christiana left home for Unilab. While on her way, it began to rain, so she took cover in the Adeleye's family's shop, which was just outside his house. Christiana only wanted to stay in the shop until the rain slowed down enough for her to continue her journey. Unfortunately, instead of slowing down, the rain got intense. Adeleye then invited her into his house, and since she trusted him, she joined him inside. While inside the house, Adeleye tried to take advantage of her, but she resisted. This got him so angry that he took her life instantly. After deciding to take advantage of the situation by turning the homicide into a staged abduction with a ransom demand, he went on to bury her corpse in a shallow grave in the backyard of their family compound. I conducted some research on his Twitter account and found out that the signs pointing to his dark side were always there, but no one really paid attention to it. On 24th February 2022, Ayomide made this post on Twitter, stating how funny and sad it is for someone not to know who he truly is, not even his parents. He also reposted a lot of strange posts on his timeline, one of which spoke about needing a little bit of darkness to find a star. On 21st April 2024, he made this ambitious post, asking God to help him become a billionaire before he turns 33. That same day, he went on to also post this warning to ladies. On May 22nd, 2022, he made this reply to a now deleted post about Bigger Thomas. This is the post he replied to, which has now been deleted by the poster after this tragic news broke out. To understand what this post means, you need to have read the book Native Son by Richard Wright. Bigger Thomas was a character in that novel. He was a murderer whose first kill was by accident, but his subsequent murder was deliberate, and the victim was his girlfriend. Adeleye's reply to the post is exactly what Bigger Thomas did to his first accidental victim. The emphasis here is on accidental or mistakenly, and here is why. It is alleged that Adeleye took his sister's life in 2020 in an accidental manner. In a Twitter post where the poster asks for one to choose between going back in time to fix one's mistake or collecting 10 million in hand, Adeleye replied that he doesn't care about the 10 million and that he only wants to go back in time and fix the mistake that cost his sister's life. Now, there are a lot of questions to ask about this case, including the possibility of the parents being his accomplice, but I will leave that to you because I want to know what you have to say about this tragic case. Adeleye was handed over to the Lagos State Police on 5th September 2024. This means that this heartbreaking case is still under active investigation. Adeleye claimed to belong to an organ harvester syndicate, so we are hoping to get details on that. It is believed that he has accomplices, and there is also a strong possibility that he had done this before. Adeleye is alleged to have taken his girlfriend's life in 2018, just 2 years before he did the same to his biological sister. You should know that he is said to have buried all victims in his father's compound, so there is also a very big question mark there. In light of all these pending updates, make sure to like, share and subscribe to this channel. Most importantly, don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that you will be notified when I publish an update on this case. Thank you for watching and stay safe.